I'm a filmmaker, screenwriter, and pretty much anything else that you can think of that goes along with that. I'm lucky enough to have made a nice home for my wife and child. We have a nice-ish house with a decent-sized building in the back that I've made into a nice studio. It's mostly just a nice place to get some writing or editing done. The town we live in is nice, really backwoods, but was voted safest city in the state last year, so I guess that counts for something. I guess it's easy to get that kind of title when there's nothing but woods and a population of about 5,000 people. It's on the outskirts of a major city about 45 minutes out and mostly wooded areas. One night, I was in my studio filming a comedy sketch infomercial about a home security system from a company called Home Alone Security, where the security package includes everything Kevin McAllister used in the movie Home Alone. When I heard this extremely loud bang on the side of the building. Now it was so loud that I heard it through my horribly loud Billy Mays impression I was doing. It gave me that instant feeling of pure dread, like when something happens that you know should never happen. And I say this because we have no family around us, nor do I have any friends to speak of due to the recent move for work. Now I knew it wasn't my wife because the building is a good ways away from the house, hugged up against the wood line, and she needed to be inside with our newborn baby. To be honest, it's more on the woods part of the wood line due to the growth wrapping around it. I like the seclusion, plus it's far enough away from the house that I don't get any cries from the baby in the footage. But now all I could think about was how those two things made this situation really bad. Now I stood there, with paint cans attached to strings, blinded by my softboxes, trying to figure out what the fuck that was. It could be an animal, but one hard, intentional sounding hit and then run? Plus, I would have heard it running away due to the leaves and the thin sheet metal walls. Maybe something fell from the trees. The only thing wrong with that is I knew 100% that it came from the side and not the roof. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind when crazy shit starts happening is my family. No matter what hit the side of the building, I was pretty positive that it was still standing in the same exact spot. So without thinking, my flight mode kicked in and I decided to fling the door open and run straight line to the house as fast as I could, slamming the door behind me. I didn't look back. Whatever it was, if it was going to catch me, it was going to fucking catch me, so I might as well not see it coming. I made it up the stairs and in the door, where my wife was in the kitchen breastfeeding, and I scared her so bad that her nipple popped out of my son's mouth. She was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You scared me." And while struggling to catch my breath, I said, "A loud noise on the building. Some monster or some shit." She looked at me in disgust and relatched our baby. Not in a bitchy way. My wife is the perfect angel, just in a "you and your silly shit better go back outside before you wake up this baby." I finally compose and explain myself, and she pretty much blows it off as something falling from the trees. Then I'm like, so a fucking acorn just ever so perfectly rolls down the tree branches like those balls in the elaborate mousetrap type bullshit YouTube videos and bashes up against the side of the building? She says whatever, kisses me, and tells me to stop being a pussy. I decide to stop being a pussy and head back out to finish my ridiculously overdramatic infomercial when I notice the door to my building is open. I know for a fact that I slammed it shut. There's no way that it didn't shut because it's never been able to shut until last week when I fixed it so it would shut. But now it's not shut. Maybe it just didn't shut. I go in, nothing seems out of sorts, so I set my shot back up and realize the battery on my Canon is dead. What the fuck? I guess I left it running. Of course I left it running, because I was too busy running. I decided I was too tired to change the battery, so I just shut down for the night. I turned my lights off, put the camera away, and then went inside and watched a few episodes of Grey's Anatomy before I went to sleep. About an hour later, I woke up to the sound of whistling outside my window. I can tell it's trailing off down the side of the house towards the front yard. I grab my pistol and run outside to see nothing. But I can still hear the whistle. It's got to be 200 yards down the pitch black street. I decided it was best to just call the cops and take a look around the house. They said they were on their way, so I go up back to take a look around, and sure enough, my door on the building is open again. Now, most of my equipment I keep in the house. I do keep one DSLR out there so I don't have to lug it back and forth. But when I go in, I'm surprised that my camera and equipment is untouched. The only thing that had been messed with is my mini fridge. The door was wide open and most of the snacks, including my bottle of Evan Williams, is gone. Soon after, the cops show up and tell us something that sent chills down our spines. Apparently, there had been a prison escape at the penitentiary 2 towns over. Someone from the psych ward. They assured us that he wasn't violent and asked if anything was missing. I told them just the things in my mini fridge, and they'll look around the property, make a report, and leave. What more can they do? The next morning, I head back out to the building to get some more work done when I remember my battery is still dead and I still don't feel like changing it. So I sit down to get some editing done. That's when I find it. Me, the bang, my escape out of frame, and then him. 3 minutes and 26 seconds after I leave, he comes into frame. A tall, lanky man with long, scraggly hair, wearing what looks like is a woman's nightgown, holding the most terrifyingly old and rusty machete that I've ever seen. Now he stands there, looking into the camera, then just walks out of frame. I can tell by his footsteps that he does not exit the building. It records for another 5 minutes, then cuts off. I'm sitting there stunned, trying to process the amount of fucked up that is this situation. That's when I remember the 2-foot gap behind my green screen. Had he been behind there the whole time? Apparently, he had got the gown from an elderly couple's house near the prison, where he also got the machete. Luckily, they weren't home at the time, so they were fine. But I don't want to think about what would have happened if I had decided to film some more that night. Or worse, if he had made his original target my house.